Welcome to 15 Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is Friday the 23rd of March, and James has just been to see Little One. Open the house. Alright, Jim Bobs, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Vicky. What the heck's going on?
Well, I feel like we've reversed roles.
We certainly have.
I'm not sure how comfortable I am with it, taking the lead. I've got to ask you questions and stuff.
You really do. You have to take an interest.
Yeah, that's hard for me. So, you have been to see Little One at the Landor Space, which is directed by, now I've got to read James's writing here and it's a bit difficult for me, directed by Corey Haas, written by Hannah Moscovich. Notable actors are Matthew Cleverly, Natasha Zaka.
That's a good name, isn't it?
Yeah, Cleverly. The venue is the Landor Space, which is part of the O Canada Festival, running until Saturday the 24th of March. Now, James, do you want to give me a synopsis?
I will. Okay, so the play revolves around a brother and a sister. And the sister is adopted about the age of 4.
Right.
And she's got very psycho tendencies, basically.
Oh, and the brother is like full blood child.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so there's lots of narration and lots of monologues. And it tells a story over about 10 years, maybe, or something like
Okay.
that. And it just kind of descends into kind of a creepy situation for the brother. And then alongside that, there's another story which is told, again, in the form of monologue, mainly.
2 stories, that's quite greedy, isn't it?
About a couple called Roger and, I'm going to say, Kitty, because that was the nickname of the person.
Are they related to the brother and sister in any way?
No, and but they are neighbours, which you find out towards the end.
Like in the Australian soap?
Yeah, just like that.
Is it Scott and Charlene? What question shall I ask you first? What were your first impressions of it?
Okay, well, I went in there and it was in a pub theatre, and it was a nice intimate space. There was a drummer in the corner.
Hello.
He was doing a bit of percussion.
Did he have like a full drum kit?
He did have a full drum kit, and then on the walls there was lots of writing. It was all the walls were black, and they put black sheet paper,
Right.
and they'd done like noughts and crosses, and there was lots of things like a fish and a drawing of a cat. And as you went through the play, all these things kind of related to it, and they did more drawing as they went along.
Was it a bit like the time many years ago when it was my birthday and it was on Friday the 13th? And we covered the walls with bin bags and painted on them, and then it smelt so bad we had to take them down.
I know, I remember that party. It was a fancy dress party, wasn't it?
But I said people didn't have to bother, so there's only about 5 people in fancy dress.
Which was, I think, us. Yeah, oh gosh, I remember that. We went in, we were really proud of ourselves. It was all black, and we couldn't breathe.
We didn't really have any windows, did we?
No, it was good times.
Oh,
Good
student life.
Anyway.
Okay, so what was the staging? So we've done that staging. Are there any other sort of technically bits that are noteworthy?
Not really. There was only 2 people in it. So,
okay, so they play both.
Yeah, so they played the brother and the sister, and also did the monologues. But it was mainly Aaron, who was a brother. His monologues were all about his sister, really.
Right.
And it all kind of revolved around. They didn't know her real name, and she'd obviously been abused but they weren't sure when she was young.
How did they differentiate between being the brother and sister and the neighbours?
No, they didn't play the neighbours, but they just told the story of the neighbours.
Okay.
And that was quite hard because, to be honest, to start with, when they were doing the monologues about the neighbours, I didn't find it very engaging.
Right.
So I kind of struggled with those bits, and I didn't know who they were for a start, and I was thinking, have I missed something important?
And what were their performances like in general? Were they good?
They performed brilliantly.
Yeah.
I was really pleased. I mean, it's hard because I kind of I have some knowledge of this field.
Yeah.
And I thought sometimes the writing was a little bit off. But that's quite a harsh criticism, really. Most of the time it was right, but sometimes I thought some of the things that happened, the crazy things that she did, were a little bit... Some of the language wasn't quite right.
Right.
But the performances were really good, and the energy of them, I mean, if I had to criticise the performances at all, I would say they were a little bit too heightened. But...
A little bit OTT?
But only a bit.
Okay.
Only a bit.
How long was it?
An hour.
Oh, perfect for you.
I loved it, yeah.
We know you can't hold your attention for longer than an hour.
It was a perfect length.
Yeah.
And no interval. And as it carried on, it did become more engaging.
Right.
I mean, when I read the synopsis, they were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street and things like that, and kind of chilling. And
that's hard to portray on the stage. Cause how do you do his Mr. Tickle Arms when he goes down the alleyway?
Yeah, well, obviously it was all set in, like, real. There was no fantasy elements.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, the story became more engaging as it went on. And I suppose because I've seen a lot of horror films, it takes a lot to scare me. But there were some kind of uncomfortable moments.
Right. Did you have any standout moments?
I certainly liked. I much more preferred every time the brother and sister were were performing together.
Okay.
So the monologues I found hard to take.
Okay.
To be honest, but there was like a whole bit in a campsite, and that was quite good and quite disturbing.
Was that like? Friday the 13th. I forgot my horror films for a minute
Oh
then.
my goodness. Well, it was certainly not like Carry On Camping.
Okay.
But again, it was all the disturbing relationship of Claire. Is that your real name, Claire? Is it Claire? What's your real name, Claire? That's my Canadian accent.
That was very good. Very good.
I do have family in Canada, so that's probably...
You got family about Canada?
About Canada.
Sorry, that's a little bit racialist.
Anyway, yeah, so... I enjoyed it a lot, and a new writer. I thought she'd done a brilliant job, and it was an engaging play.
Okay, good. So I feel like maybe we should have a little break for a minute.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and do your amazing comfort clock.
Great.
So we've had a break of about 30 seconds, and
3 days.
So I'm going to do the comfort clock.
3 days.
James's dog has just put his toy on my lap. He's desperate for playtime. You're not having any playtime. Oh. So we've got the comfort clock here, which goes from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. No, that's the wrong way around.
Just say.
So 1 is like it's a bit poo.
Yeah.
12 is like it's pretty comfy. How would you rate the theatre for comfortability?
Well, it was very comfortable. Lots of space. I had a whole row to myself, which was always nice. And
not a great sign for the popularity of the play, though.
Well, I think they struggle, but I think Fringe Theatre does struggle for audiences, and it was a shame because they deserved to have a much bigger audience than they did. Well, maybe they did a really good job.
Maybe after this review for the next production.
Absolutely, I think they should certainly take it somewhere else and do it again. So I suppose I was going to be. And I could have a beer in there, so I had a little drink.
Could you have a glass, or did you?
I had a glass, yeah.
Oh,
so if I had to be mega critical, the chairs were just like plastic chairs.
Oh.
So I'll knock off point for that, but I'm going to say 11.
That's probably the best one we've had so far.
Yeah, it suited me, and also you weren't sitting next to me.
Well, so. That's great. I wanted to say something rude, but I didn't do it. Okay, so obviously I can't rate this because I haven't seen it. So we're going to just do Jimbo's ratings here, and then we'll test my head maths and see whether my head maths is any better than James's.
Now you'll see how difficult it is. Shall I go first?
Yeah, you go first. What would you give the performances?
I am going to give the performances a solid 9.
Oh, that's strong.
Yeah, they're really good performances. Like I said, just a couple of times I think they went a little bit too far, but I can't fault them. And, they engaged me all the way through. So well done, both of them. Brilliant.
That's more than you've given some proper praise on the West End.
Well, you know.
Staging and technical.
It was nicely staged. There wasn't a whole lot to that. I thought, so I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay. Top of the pen's fallen off. Narrative, plot / music.
Okay, definitely some points for the drum, which, also managed to make the sound of rain and the campsite and all this.
Whoa, get out of 10.
Sometimes narrative went a little bit cliche,
Right.
so I'm going to give it an 8.
These are strong marks. Originality.
It was nothing I hadn't seen before,
Right.
but it was refreshing. But in another way, it was refreshingly different. I'm kind of contradicting myself.
You're talking nonsense.
I'm going to give it 7.5.
Okay, well, why are you putting in a half, Mark?
Yeah, just to show you how difficult it is.
Okay, fine. Oh, stop trying to mount me, dog.
Oh.
Get down. Right, was it worth it?
Definitely worth it. Yeah. Well, really enjoyable. And I was supposed to go on the Thursday and I couldn't make it, so I kind of decided last minute to go on the Friday, and I'm really glad I did. So yeah, I'm going to give that a 8.
The dog's... Get away from me! I know you love me, but you're going crazy. Okay, I'm going to add up the scores. Sorry, dog on me. I'm going to add up the scores. James is going to tell you what exciting thing we're going to see next. So go ahead.
Okay, so the next play very excited about is The Birthday Party at the Harrington Theatre. It's got an all-star cast. It's got Toby Jones, Stephen Mangan, Zoe Wanamaker, just to name a few. Oh, and I have to say Pearl Mackie, Doctor Who fame. So very excited about that. And we'll be back to normal as well. So we'll be reviewing it together.
I feel like I've not done the scores properly.
Oh, you see, it's not that easy, is it?
Yeah, this doesn't seem right. Okay, no, let's go with it. So, Jimbo, you've given this a rating of 3.9.5.
Okay.
Which puts it just below 31 hours and just above the Twilight Zone and The Winner Is, which I think is pretty good for a pub theatre.
Yeah, I think it's done really well. And I'm happy with that rating. What number is that then?
So that will be number 8.
8.
On our leaderboards.
Good stuff.
It's pretty good.
Well done, little one.
So what do we do now? Because you normally do this bit. Have I got a page of things that I'm supposed to say? Oh, what's that noise?
I heard it too.
Oh, that's the theatre bell.
Oh.
Which means we're out of time. Thanks very much for listening. It tells me here to say I've been James, but that's not my name.
Yeah, don't confuse them.
I've been Vicky.
I've been James.
Thanks again. So the curtain's down, the theatre is dark, and that was 15-Minute Theatre. Good night!
Good night!
If you're brave enough to have your theatre production reviewed, please contact us at 15minutetheatre@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter and please rate and review us on iTunes. Thanks for listening.